Now, if you're a Dallas Cowboys fan, odds are you are extremely familiar with how much this receiving core has been talked about. Arguably the best in the entire NFL. I can guarantee you that if everything goes right, the Cowboys have the potential to be the number one offense in all of football. And I think you'd be kidding yourself if you wouldn't recognize that. Now, we're extending the position evaluation series to wide receivers if you have been familiar with what's been going on over the past two videos. If not, and you are new, this is a position evaluation series for the Dallas Cowboys where before training camp for 2021, I go through each of the position groups, including the coaching staff, to really give a letter grade on how I feel about that position group. We already talked about the running backs and the quarterbacks, so if you missed the running back section, by all means hit the card at the top right of the screen and you'll be able to check out the last two videos if you missed them. Now, if you're all caught up, let's get into these receivers. Now, to start things off with Amari Cooper. Now, Amari is, in my honest opinion, the number one guy on the Dallas Cowboys, and the reasoning for that is when you look at what he brings to the table, to start off with the talent level and just overall what he's been able to do on the field. He is, at minimum, a top 10 receiver in this league. I think you're kidding yourself if you think Amari isn't in that type of echelon, okay? When he is at his highest point and he's firing on all cylinders, this man could be in the top 5, you know? Now, there are moments, don't get it twisted, where Amari sometimes has these games where there are some hiccups. He doesn't get enough numbers. He doesn't have the right stuff in terms of just performing well. It happens, okay? It's not anything crazy for him not to have a perfect game every single game. But he also is a game changer in the sense that you put him in there. Now, teams have to be like, well, if we don't double Cooper, he's going to torch us. But we have to keep an eye out on Gallup and Lamb. And these other guys that we're going to get to in Lamb and Cooper throw this whole thing to a whole nother stratosphere. With Cooper getting back to the whole game-changing aspect, he is able to really make a defense have to really think, hey, we just have to hope that we get to Dak Prescott fast enough. If not, and if we're perfect on our coverages, we have a chance. I just don't see a reason how Amari Cooper is off this team unless proven otherwise. You know, I feel like he's definitely worth the money. You know, he's definitely one of the best receivers in the game, as mentioned. And it's crazy to say that he had his best statistical season with 3 other quarterbacks besides Dak Prescott. That's crazy to say. And so I'm really excited to see what Cooper does in this next year with the Cowboys. He is so fun to watch. You know, ever since he came to Dallas, he's just been that dude. And the guys that he gets to work with really makes this thing special. So now let's get to Michael Gallup. Now with Gallup, and I've talked about him before in several other videos about what I feel the Cowboys should do with Michael Gallup. Look, I would really love the Cowboys to bring him back. I think it's more likely the Cowboys bring him back than them trading him, which we all know that ship has sailed. So, you know, knowing Steven, he's not going to pay him, and so you're going to get a comp pick out of him. So if you really, really, really love Gallup, you're hoping he is the best receiver on this team because you know damn well he's not going to be here in 2022 unless the Joneses sign him early. So, I mean, if I'm the Cowboys, I'm looking to do that. I think that with the cohesion this group has, it's really beneficial for Dak Prescott to have 3 top guys in this offense stay around. And also, you know, you don't have to worry about, Lamb's contract for the next couple seasons. And by that time, you might trade Cooper. You might let him go because he's getting up there in age. You know, something might happen. But when it comes to Gallup's talent level, I believe he's at best a 1B receiver, and that's what I've said before. I just don't think you look at him and the stuff that he's been able to do. It's like, yes, he's made these spectacular catches, and he's made really damn good moments of him just having that home run ability, being able to catch that deep ball, all this other stuff. I like it. I just don't know how he would look as being the number one option on a team. Now, I can't say he's for sure not able to do it, but it also depends on the quarterback and where he goes. I just think it would be in his best interest to stay in Dallas. I don't see a reason for him to go elsewhere. Obviously, for money, he's got to go get his money. I get it. But if you're the Cowboys and you still want to keep Gallup in the loop, you have to make the decision. Do you bring him back, or are we bringing back another vital component to the offense? That's something you have to think about. And so he doesn't have that game. Like, I think some teams are just like, well, we got to worry about Cooper. Gallup is kind of like, we just hope that he doesn't go off type of thing. And now that you have Lamb in the picture, it's just like, now it's kind of like Gallup kind of looks expendable in the eyes of the front office. Oh, don't worry, we already got our guys in front. We'll see. I still think Gallup will pose as a major threat to other defenses. You better hope that, as Dak continues to get better, that you manage to prevent these guys from getting open, especially with, how talented they are. So now we get to CeeDee Lamb, and it's just still unbelievable how he's a Dallas Cowboy and how he slid to the Cowboys at 17 back in the 2020 draft. Now, I do believe CeeDee Lamb is on the path to NFL superstardom. He's on that way. Now, is he going to reach it in year 2? Maybe, maybe not, but that's okay. What's cool, and I think that CeeDee would be most appreciative of, is that he doesn't have to go in and be that number one guy immediately. He can ease in to the NFL game, and still, even if he was the standalone number one option, he would have been one hell of a receiver to watch. That's for certain. But I just really like what he brings to the table. I think that he's going to be a mix of Cooper and Gallup, like having the ability to make these spectacular catches, being this nuanced all-around route runner. He is the complete package. And for Dak to get his own 88 really speaks volumes. I understand that's just a side point, but I think what puts CeeDee apart from the previous 88 in Dez is that Dez was great, especially in his prime. I will go to the grave saying that in his prime, like full on everything, Dez was hands down the best 88 that's ever graced this roster. Now, granted, Michael Irvin is, having that consistency and just being that great receiver, but Dez was untouchable. He put up ridiculous numbers during his peak. But what makes CeeDee Lamb arguably in the position to be better than Dez and possibly be the best 88 is his overall ability to adapt in his whole game. He isn't reliant on his athleticism, to pull the ball down like Dez was. And sure, obviously the athleticism for receivers, as they get older declines, but if you're able to adjust and are able to, be that fancy route runner, Larry Fitzgerald, for example, is a prime example of this. If you can just catch balls and you can go and route run every type of possible route and just take care of business, and, sure, you might not be the fastest guy on the field anymore, but the reliability factor is there, and I think that Lamb is going to have that as a member of this team. So I'm really excited for the future with CeeDee Lamb, and I do believe he's the future one receiver for the Cowboys. I think that he is going to be the guy 2 to 3 years down the line. Most definitely. He's going to get a contract from the Cowboys. I don't see him going anywhere, so I'm really excited that he's in the Cowboys uniform still, and he's going to put up one hell of a season. I have a bold prediction that CeeDee Lamb is going to be a Pro Bowler this year. Bookmark that. So, we all know the main guys. But now who's the guys behind them? Now, I'm going to do this more rapid fire, mainly due to the fact that a lot of these guys, as I'm looking at the list, are, rookies, undrafted free agents, all this other stuff. So let's start off with the obvious ones as I take a look. So we have Cedric Wilson and Noah Brown. Now you throw these two together, and honestly, the fact that they're both back is nice because it's not like that the Cowboys, are like, oh, well, we don't have another receiver, so we got to go get another receiver so that if one of our guys goes down. The fact that they brought back both Noah Brown and Cedric Wilson, it's cool. We get another year to see what they can do. I'm really glad that Mike McCarthy and this coaching staff was able to kind of get Noah Brown and Cedric Wilson a little bit more involved, in the limited time. I mean, when you have three guys on the field that are just outstanding receivers, you're going to see guys have to sit on the bench. Now, I will say, you can improve with those two guys. Most definitely, I have no doubt about that. So I think now that we transition to Simi Fehoko, I look at what he was able to do at Stanford, and a lot of people are like, well, the numbers weren't there. He didn't have the greatest quarterback at Stanford, okay? And so, you go and watch, it's just what he was able to do. It's like if he had better stats and he had a better quarterback, he would have been a much higher rated prospect probably. Now, does that mean he's going to come in and be a great receiver like day one? No, absolutely not. But I do see him as a future 3 option on this team. I think that, whatever happens with Cooper and Gallup, if the Cowboys decide to go with one of the other, CeeDee's going to stay on this team for the next 10 years most likely. And then you have a guy and Simi who I think that if he's given the opportunity can definitely be a 3 if all things go well. Now, I take a look at these other individuals. You have Johnny Dixon. Don't know who he is. I can't tell you. Brendan Eagles. I heard the name, but I'm not going to give you a positive or negative there. You see Osiris Mitchell. Don't know a whole lot about him. Not going to give you an answer. You have Aaron Parker, Brandon Smith, whatever. Again, I'm not going to give you a full-on opinion on that. And then you have Malik Turner. Now, Malik Turner I am familiar with. Again, I think he's just a body. I don't see him as being a vital role type of guy. And then you have TJ Vasher, which a lot of people were talking about him because he's really goddamn tall. But I just don't see him making the team as constructed right now. I think that if Cedric Wilson and Noah Brown weren't on the team, I think we would be having a whole different conversation. But as of right now, I do not see him making the team. I think I can see him making the practice squad. But he's definitely not making this team as it is right now. That's for sure. Now, getting to the obvious letter grade, it's an A+. Without a doubt. This Cowboys squad with this receiving core, oh my God, it's just unbelievable to see all the talent that's amassed here. And I understand that results are different from talent. Cool, I get it. I completely understand that. But if we sit back, and even if you hate the Dallas Cowboys, if you objectively look at it, right? You have Amari Cooper, right? He has the foot thing, whatever. He's got that injuries bug there. But if upright and if all else goes well, and even if you put it in the middle, he is a Pro Bowl type of guy, right? Even if he, that's even him at 80%. You have Michael Gallup, and he can be really good. Can he be all Pro Bowl type of level? Maybe. I could see it, but I think it really comes down to if he has a really good partner in crime, which he has, 2 other partners in crime. So there's that, and then you have CeeDee Lamb, who's one of the best young receivers in football. So, I mean, you had to give this group an A+. Easily. And I think you're kidding yourself if you say otherwise. If you do say otherwise, please feel free to explain to me how so. I'm not saying that you're wrong. I just want to hear that logic and reasoning for why you would say otherwise. Oh, the availability, I got that. So I just want to see if you think I'm thinking a bit too highly. I'm being too drinking the Kool-Aid type of stuff. But I don't see a reason as of right now. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. By all means, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you haven't done so already. If you watched this whole video through and reached the end here, thank you so much for that. And so keep an eye out for the next position evaluation series video. We'll be going over the tight ends next. And then we're going to keep chugging along until we get to training camp. We're halfway there, guys. So I'll catch you guys in the next one. All right, guys, have a good one. Bye bye.